A dead end. I'll have to go back.
So, the bag, again.
I know, Oscar. I know. What the heck?
What is it, Kate Walker?
The gates, they just closed. Oh, there must be a mechanism to open them somewhere.
There always is, Kate Walker.
Can you bring that pickaxe closer, Oscar?
Of course, Kate Walker.
Looks like it's compatible with a bigger mechanism.
You seem disappointed, Kate Walker.
About what?
Well, correct me if I am wrong, but the fact that Diana Roze lost her baby and became sterile disproves your hypothesis that there can be a family link between you, doesn't it?
You're not wrong, Oscar, but I'm just stupidly over-optimistic. I wish I were like you, and not controlled by stupid emotions.
Nice of you to say. I guess?
Sorry, Oscar. That didn't come out so well. What about that mission Dana led with Leon's resistance network?
It didn't turn out well, Miss Walker. Actually, that's the reason I left London to be here.
Oh?
Yes, just a second, Miss Walker. Where did I put it? What with this blasted storm? It's all over the papers. Here, have a look for yourself.
Storm. Excavation work at Devil's Pass has been interrupted. An unexpected storm has obliged the Council to remove the bodies trapped in the ice since the Second World War, and to move them to the Silberspiegel Refuge. Those frozen bodies near the refuge. I heard about them just yesterday. Do you mean...
There has been no formal identification yet, Miss Walker.
But it's plausible that...
That Leon, at least, is among those bodies, yes.
What happened to Leon?
According to the testimonies I've obtained, Leon was killed on that mission the Foreign Office tasked Dana to lead. An avalanche, apparently. I am one of the few people still alive to be able to identify him, which is why I'm here. If it weren't for this bloody storm, it would have been done today.
Do you think Dana could be among the bodies?
I suppose it would be logical. It would explain why I never saw or heard of her again after the mission. Yet, according to some witnesses, Dana survived the war and indeed helped resistance fighters from Vaghen until the liberation. But if those testimonies were true, then Dana vanished after the war.
What about the other bodies?
According to the medical examiner's office, in all, 3 bodies have been extracted from the ice. The one presumed to be Leon, and 2 others, a man and a woman not yet identified.
I see.
Try to stay positive, Miss Walker. Only a visual identification will allow us to be certain. We can go as soon as this storm's over, probably tomorrow or the day after.
Right.
Miss Walker, we've arrived. But you're not coming, are you? Well, Miss Walker, you might not be related to Dana, but you bloody well certainly remind me of her.
So, instead of waiting for the storm to pass and for the official identification of the bodies, I might add, that were trapped in the ice for 6 decades, you, and by extension me, are going to climb up the mountain so you can identify them yourself.
I know, Oscar, I know. But I've just got to be sure. Because if one of those bodies turns out to be Dana,
We'll have no more trains to chase?
Lenny's left her lookout post. Hardly surprising with this blizzard.
What's this?
Oh, it's the frozen bodies from the Devil's Pass. The forensic team had to bring them up here because of the blizzard. But their generator shut off. I'm concerned it could damage the bodies.
Where's Demoiselle Lenny?
Oh, in her room, resting. She collapsed right after the forensic team left for Vaghen.
Jeez, what happened?
I'm pretty sure it has to do with the bodies. I mean, she was staring down in that direction for, well, all the time. And then, when they brought them up from the Devil's Pass, it was like she had seen a ghost or something. It was almost as if...
As if she knew the departed.
What?
Is someone taking care of her?
Oh yes, don't worry. She's with that hermit who brings her wood and provisions sometimes.
Okay, in that case, you go back inside. I'll take care of the generator.
Are you sure?
Positive, just go. Go on! I need to check something in the tent anyway. Photo of Leon on a ship. Must have been taken during his return from Baltayar. But I still can't figure out how he survived the winter while he was on the run over there. Lenny also had that newspaper clipping about Leon. Looks like the old girls built a veritable shrine to him. Demoiselle Lenny had tea with someone. Maybe with that alpinist guy. Another one of those cigars. There's something truly odd going on with Demoiselle Lenny. I really ought to have a little chat with her. But before, the bodies. They're all that count right now. They must have carried Demoiselle Lenny to her room after she collapsed. Looks like I can change its shape. They must have carried Demoiselle Lenny to her room after she collapsed. Too small for a door. I don't think it's cold enough for fuel to freeze, but maybe someone should store it inside, just in case. It looks like it's holding up, despite the storm. It looks like it's holding up, despite the storm.
Are you sure you want to stay under the storm to see the bodies, Kate Walker? They'll still be here tomorrow, you know.
Maybe, Oscar, but I can't wait. I've just got to know now. The gas tank's empty. I better find some fuel so I can turn on the generator.
Didn't you come across a jerry can earlier? Better go check it out.
Yes! Thanks, Oscar! Must be something missing here. Must have got it wrong. That doesn't work.
That bloody storm.
Locked, of course. Oh, dry biscuits. Wonder how long they've been there. Must be to crank up the generator. Nothing. Speak to me, Oscar!
This button must have turned on the generator, Kate Walker. But you still need to use the starter.
Okay! Thanks, Oscar! Forensics Institute of Vaghen. That's not Dana in this body bag. Leon. It's as if he died yesterday. Like in those stories where people are found perfectly preserved in ice for decades after being carried away by an avalanche. Hard to believe he's been dead for over 60 years. That's quite amazing. And grim at the same time. An unidentified blonde woman in her 40s. That can't be Dana. That's it, Oscar. Dana's body is not among those found with Leon's. What a relief.
Now that that's cleared up, Kate Walker, Maybe we should take shelter within somewhat more solid premises.
Right. We should go and check on Demoiselle Lenny in the refuge. I have a lot of new questions for her. Hello? Sir?
Are you sure you want to follow that individual, Kate Walker?
I don't think he looked threatening. Rather the opposite, Oscar. Sir? Are you there? What have we got here? This portrait, it looks like Leon. The style reminds me of that other portrait of him that he described in his letter from Baltayar. The one made by the...
Derna.
the Go-Rune.
No, not Derna. She's old, like me.
I'm Kate. Kate Walker.
Kate Walker.
Yes. And you're the one that Leon saved during the Origin expedition a long time ago, aren't you?
Yes.
The Goran from Baltayar. Well, you've come a long way, Mr.
Ludwig. Ludwig Hardtack.
Well, Mr. Ludwig, if you don't mind my asking, what happened when you and Leon returned to Ostertal to join the resistance fighters? And how did you meet Dana?
Leon. My brother.
These drawings, they're moments from your life, aren't they? Is that when you met Dana?
No.
Looks like a river. And that little figure looks wounded. Is that you when you met Leon and the scientist from the Origin expedition?
Yes.
That person in the middle of the others was in the other paintings. That's Leon, isn't it?
Yes. Leon.
That that group. Is it your tribe, Mr. Ludwig?
Yeah.
So you all live together in a cave in Baltayar? Right. So you and your tribe took Leon in after the death of Reinhard Berger in 1937. That's how he was able to survive the winter in the mountains. Then you went with Leon when he decided to return to Vaghen to join the resistance fighters?
Mm-hmm.
These combat scenes, are they of the liberation of Vaghen?
Before. During resistance.
Had Dana already joined the resistance operation by that time? I mean, by the time shown in the drawing.
No. Later.
The blonde girl with you and Leon can't be Lenny, right?
Yes. Lenny. My sister.
I knew Lenny was a resistance fighter, but she never told me she fought alongside Leon, let alone you. She even went as far as saying that she never saw Leon again after 1937, when they all met at the refuge with Dana. Why would she hide something so important?
Time to check on Lenny. Come, Kate Walker.
This sketchbook, I think it was Leon's. Detonating wire, just like in the old movies. Weapons. Must have been here since the war, I guess. Some kind of map. Looks like the Devil Pass to me. Could all those marks indicate where the Gorons searched for Leon's body? This symbol looks like a warning. These must be plans for secret operations. Must have been some kind of a headquarters here. Maybe for local resistance fighters such as Leon and his group. So much happened to the Gorun since Leon found him in Baltayar. What a life he had. But there are still so many gray areas. I need to learn more from Demoiselle Lenny now.
Ah, Fräulein. I knew you would be back eventually. Judging by your face, you and Ludwig already met.
We have. And it raised a lot of questions about you. About what you said to me the first time we met, and about what you didn't say.
Of course. You can run from your past, but never truly escape it. But you already know that. Don't you, Fräulein?
I want to understand Demoiselle Lenny. I'd like to understand why you didn't tell me about Leon's death, about fighting with him in the Resistance, and about the Gore, and about Mr. Ludwig. It would have saved us both so much time and effort.
Because it would have only begged questions. Questions which lead to events that I've never spoken about to anyone. Not even to you, dear Ludwig.
Lenny.
Still, I suppose it doesn't matter now. Perhaps it's time I confess my crime.
What are you talking about?
It was the best years of my life. Joining the Resistance, unlike my coward of a father, and fighting alongside Leon after he miraculously got back from Baltayar with Ludwig. It gave me purpose. Leon was a terrific leader. I could feel he was finally taking me seriously, especially with Dana being missing. I knew he was still in love. After all, didn't he cross the globe to rescue her? But we all thought he arrived too late, that Dana had died with her parents during the pogroms. So, I believed his mourning would eventually come to an end. And that's when Dana fell from the sky, literally.
Dana was sent by London, right? To oversee that operation led by your resistance network? The exfiltration of a civilian to Switzerland, if I recall correctly.
Indeed. But Leon never told us that Dana was involved. Maybe he was afraid to believe it himself. should have seen them, Fräulein. It was as if they had never left each other.
Do you know if Dana ever mentioned a child?
Maybe they were planning to have one in Baltaya, who knows?
In Baltayar?
Yes, that's all they ever talked about. How they were going to live over there after the war, along with Ludwig and his tribe. But it was to be just another broken dream.
Right. I should call London now. My radio's downstairs. One of Leon's paintings. He did one of me posing on the terrace that summer when we met. He even gave me the painting so I would think of him when he was in Baltaya. I expect it got destroyed by the Brown Shadow when they pillaged Papa's gallery. Leon's drawing book. May I? True brothers and sisters in arms. You can sense that the three of them stand together as one. Lenny and the Gorun seem close. It's nice that she's found a friend. Not that Herr Gustav lacked affection for her, but she spent too much time alone in that refuge. The Gorun described Leon as his brother. They must have shared lots of adventures together since Leon saved him from the clutches of Herberger. Your drawings are beautiful.
For you, Dana Rose.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ludwig. It's almost as if you were there with us that night.
Leon told me.
Did he speak about me?
All the time.
I should go now. Talk to you later, Mr. Ludwig. Oh, it looks like Leon and me in this drawing. The Gorun must have drawn it from Leon's accounts of us.
Leon talks about you all the time.
Lenny!
What do you want?
It's amazing how you've grown. How have you been since last time?
Fine, I guess.
I found out that the refuge was closed down by the Brown Shadow a few years ago. Turns out your network did the best of it. But what about Herr Gustav? Is he...
Dead? No, he's not dead. Although, for me, he might just as well be.
It's quite incredible when I think of you and Leon fighting alongside someone who comes from so far away.
Yeah. After Leon saved him during the expedition in Baltayar, Mr. Ludwig's tribe took him in during the winter months. They became inseparable, like brothers. So much so that Mr. Ludwig insisted on coming back here with Leon. Now he's our most ferocious fighter, the terror of the Brown Shadow.
See you later, Lenny.
We'll talk later, Dana.
Is everything all right, Herr Exner? You seem a little upset. If it's about your exfiltration tomorrow, I can assure you there's nothing to be worried about. Leon is the best for...
I couldn't care less about tomorrow.
So what is it then?
It's my wife, Andrea. It's like I said to your goons there. I can't leave without her.
Your wife? I'm sorry, Herr Exner, but we have no orders regarding...
I don't care about your orders. I'm not leaving without Andrea. Do you hear me? I won't. You think I'm a bastard, don't you? A selfish bastard ready to risk people's lives to recover the woman he loves. That's what you all think, isn't it?
I'm afraid I don't know you well enough to have an opinion of you. Besides, I'm only here to accomplish my mission, not to judge anyone.
I take full responsibility for my actions, and I expect no pity in return. But would a little understanding be too much to ask? I mean, what would you do in my shoes? What would you do if they asked you to abandon that alpinist you seem to be so fond of for the common good, eh? Because that's what you're asking me to do with Andrea.
If I were in your shoes, I would put the common good first, even if I had to make a tough choice.
Oh, of course you would.
Well, everyone seems all right, more or less. I should get back to the radio now.
If this propaganda against the resistance fighters is anything to go by, the Brown Shadow must be pretty desperate. Switzerland. The package will be safe over there. We'll need to cross Devil's Pass with the package in order to reach Switzerland. They say it's not the most daunting pass, but still, you need to be escorted by a professional alpinist. The refuge. It'll be the departure point for our expedition into Switzerland tomorrow. Harold Exner. A scientist with vital information for the war effort, according to the Foreign Office. His cover has recently been blown, which has led to this operation. Better not say anything during the briefing, but apparently, Exner has a reputation for being rather hot-headed. The refuge. The place where it all began between me and Leon. An arms stash. Since the departure of Herr Gustav, resistance fighters have been using this place as an outpost. The Allies are unable to send enough supplies to the resistance fighters for them to completely let go of their good old-fashioned methods. Shouldn't think the Brown Shadow appreciate Leon and his group throwing their own grenades at them. This part of the radio is used to receive messages. There must be something I can use as an antenna somewhere in this refuge. Herr Gustav's old radio. I remember we spent many an evening listening to serials when I worked here that summer. This antenna looks like one of Herr Gustav's inventions. Once this antenna is connected, there must be a way to open it. There must be something else I can plug into it. So Yunta never did come back to retrieve it? Not surprising, really, I suppose, given the fact that World War broke out. What a mess. Herr Gustav must have turned Yunta's dark room into a storeroom after she left. Yunta's stash. I doubt I'll find anything of use there to amplify the radio signal. Empty. That should boost the signal. Perfect. I must have made a mistake. No. Impossible. It doesn't work. This part of the radio is used to transmit messages. This part of the radio is used to receive messages. The signal isn't strong enough. I need to find a way of amplifying it. That item doesn't work. The signal isn't strong enough. I need to find a way of amplifying it. The signal isn't strong enough. I need to find a way of amplifying it. Better try another one. This part of the radio is used to transmit messages. The signal is strong enough to reach London now. London, come in. London? Do you read me? Over. We've made contact. Package safe and sound. I repeat, we've made contact. Package...
Out of the question!
I'm not moving from here without her!
London, please wait a moment. Over. What's going on?
You! Tell London I'm not leaving without my wife.
Herr X, now listen,
No, you listen. Andrea is my closest collaborator. With regard to the Allied war effort, she is just as important as me. She is in Vaghen as I speak, hiding at some friend's place under a false identity. You must bring her here and smuggle her into Switzerland with me.
There's no way we're going back to Vaghen. Brown Shadow troops have overrun the entire town. We can't risk delaying our departure.
A storm coming. Danger.
I'm not moving from here without her.
London, did you hear that? Roger that. Over and out. They say we can't allow Frau Exner to be captured and risk her letting the cat out of the bag.
What are you waiting for then? Send someone to fetch her.
Hang on. You're not asking me to.
Sorry, Lenny, we haven't got a choice. Ludwig can't go about in public in Vaghen, and I have to prepare everything to get them through Devil's Pass tomorrow. You're the only one I trust enough to...
Why can't she go?
Lenny's right. I'm not known to the Brown Shadow. I can sneak into Vaghen incognito this evening and be back in time for...
Out of the question. That's not your mission here. And besides, it's too dangerous.
Leon!
All right, then. I'll go.
Lenny, wait!
Leon's reaction and his unconditional love for Dana drove me mad with rage. So I decided to take my revenge by making a detour. It was a detour I would regret for the rest of my life.
What did you do?
I made a deal with the devil. No one was supposed to have gotten hurt, I promise. I promise, Fräulein. I just didn't want Leon to leave me forever. To leave with her. But it was a fool's bargain, as I should have known from the beginning.
Becomes impassable!
Go through the pass in this weather, are you mad?
We have no choice, Lenny! It's that or fall into the hands of the Brown Shadow! And we both know what that means! We ought to stay, to buy Leon as much time as we can!
Leon,
She's right, Lenny! Now go! Go! Come! Dana!
No, don't make this harder than it is!
Dana!
I love you, Leon.
I love you too, Dana, more than anything in the world. Come on, let's go!
Ironic, isn't it? But the worst was yet to come. Who knows how long we fought? Enough for Leon to lead the civilians to the foot of Devil's Path. Ludwig has been searching for Leon's remains since then. But it took the thaw due to global warming to uncover the bodies. And with them, my crime. Precisely when you decided to show up, Fräulein.
Lenny.
Dear Ludwig, can you ever
Mr. Ludwig, please.
Don't, Fräulein. I deserve this. Let's get this over with, Fräulein. Let me tell you about the last time I ever saw Dana, and then I'll be done.
Okay, I'm listening.
It was a year after Leon died, just after the liberation of Vaghen.
The little Vaghen scourge. Still clinging on like fleas on a rat, I see. Oh, I was so disappointed I didn't bump into you when we sacked your parents' house. Before we threw them in the Dombra River.
I just wanted you to know I'll be thinking of you when you swing from a rope.
Run, rabbit! Run! 'Cause we'll soon be back to finish off scum like you!
Since the liberation, everyone in Vaghen seems to be looking for someone.
Goodness me, it's you, Dana.
Herr Gustav?
Wish it was still a music academy, eh? Allied HQ now, you know.
Yes,
I just visited Lenny.
that's why I've come too. I wanted to see her before I leave. How is she?
Surviving, I suppose. The Allies are taking care of her here in the infirmary. Thank goodness. Special treatment for her exploits in the Resistance. But it's unlikely she'll ever walk again now.
I'm so sorry for what happened to her. I let Leon die alone, and I couldn't even help Lenny when she got hit during the assault on the refuge.
I understand you, my lovely. I do. But don't blame yourself, eh? Regrets, we all have a few. And some more than others. Especially in times of war, Dana. It's the way of the world. We just have to move on best we can. Maybe if we could all just let the water flow under the bridge, the swans will come back and we'll all be able to live together again. Like we used to.
Would be good, if it's at all possible. And Lenny?
I promise to take good care of her. For the rest of my life. I lost my little girl once. I'm not losing her again. I'll take up my job at the refuge. And I'll adapt it to her handicap. See?
That's nice.
Is everything okay, Dana?
Where were you during the occupation? Lenny never mentioned it.
If you want to know, I was cleared by the military court, Dana. It might well have something to do with the fact that I'm the father of a heroine. But all the same, I was cleared of any wrongdoing, you see.
Oh, I see. I see very well, Herr Gustav. You have a good day now. Herr Sauer?
Oh, Fräulein Dana.
What are you doing here?
Well, unlike my former colleagues of the Origin expedition, I refused to be hired by the Allies. So, by the same chalk, I turned down immunity.
Why would you do that?
Well, all I've ever wanted to do in life is to carry out my anthropological research. But if there's one thing I learned in Baltaya, it's that it can't be done by serving the designs of this or that superpower. Not even momentarily. I've had enough of prostituting science. So, I've given myself up to be judged for accepting to be financed by the Brown Shadow.
I see.
I'm sorry about Leon, Fräulein Dana. I know you were close. He, used to talk about you all the time. I'm sorry. I was rather harsh toward him last time we met. He was a good man. I miss him. His integrity.
I miss him too. Herzawa?
Yes, Fräulein Dana?
Thank you for passing Leon's letter on to me about what happened in Baltaya like you promised you would, despite your own grief. It's proof that you're a man of honor. I wish you well now.
That's it. I'm definitely done with everybody here. I should go and talk to Lenny in the infirmary now.
Hello, Lenny. I have to leave, Lenny. Every new day in Vaghen is like another agony for me since Leon died. I can't face being here anymore. Not now that the town is freed. So, I've decided to leave for America. I'm going to try to start life over. I don't know if I'll do any better in the United States, but I'll have more of a chance of getting by there than here. I'm not abandoning you, Lenny. Ludwig's staying to help you find Leon's body in the mountain. And I'll write to you, often. I won't forget you. I'm so sorry.
So Dana, she never knew what you did?
Indeed.
So did she write to you like she promised? From the United States?
Yes, she did. For the next 40 years.
She's still alive then?
Can't say for sure, but there's a good chance.
Can you explain?
No. I've had enough of explaining. Explaining to myself. All I want now is to find some peace, far away from guilt and loneliness. I'm going to rest now.
It's not too late to forgive yourself.
Wouldn't know how, even if I wanted to.
You won't know until you try.
Thank you, Fräulein. You'll find the last letter I received from Dana in my automaton. It will give you the answers you're looking for.
Thank you. No, it's not the problem. Looks like I can change its shape. Ah, it won't fit. I must display the key properly. No. Impossible. Better try something else. Thing's stuck. Impossible. Thing's stuck. Looks like there's nothing to do here for now. I should take care of the automaton's heart first. No. Better try something else. No. Thing's stuck. Impossible. Thing's stuck. No. Thing's stuck. You should be able to control this body now, Oscar. Let's work together to unlock it and find that letter from Dana.
Ah, a new body. Again.
This lock. I think I need to slide the small moving part nearby in order to unlock it. Maybe I could ask for Oscar's help if I get stuck. I should be able to use this. No, it's not the proper setting of the key. Ah, it won't fit. I must display the key properly. No, it's not the proper setting of the key. Thing's stuck. Thing's stuck. No, I don't think so. That's it. I should be able... It moved. Maybe it can be opened. think I can turn the crank now. Ah, it won't fit. I must display the key properly. The letter. Spring 1983. Dana sent this letter 20 years ago to Lenny. Dana Goengrish, Manhattan. Her name changed. May 21st, 1983. My dear Lenny, sorry if I haven't written in a long time. Things haven't been easy for me of late.
My husband, William Gerngrich, passed away last summer. He was such a remarkable partner and a tremendous support. But as you know, Lenny, there used to be another world for me. The world before. Our world, Lenny. The world of Leon. I've honored my current contracts. But now I feel I need a change. It was a nurse who worked at the maternity ward at Baden Sanatorium before the war, when I spent some time there. She had stumbled upon a letter written by her superior. It was a strange confession written by the chief doctor who was present when I went into labor. She claimed that the child I gave birth to on April 5th, 1938 was alive, that they had seized the opportunity of me falling into a coma to give my daughter Anna to a couple of friends of my parents, the Zimmers. Anna is alive, Lenny. You can imagine, my dear Lenny, that I spent the following weeks searching for my daughter high and low. It wasn't that difficult, even though my daughter's names had been changed. For a while, I just stood there, watching a woman who seemed to be the center of attention. She looked so confident, joyful, and full of life. She was surrounded by charming friends and a couple of old folks who must have been the Zimmers, her adoptive parents. As I was watching my daughter, it appeared clear to me. I was an intruder in the life of Sarah Walker Zimmer.
Mom?
This young woman didn't look like me and inspired nothing in me either. No emotion, no desire to run to her and take her in my arms. Absolutely nothing. It felt meaningless. I just did what I thought best in such cases. I took a trip into her assumed past, just to make sure there were no regrets.
A ghost, Dana. That's all you are. Stop haunting these people and leave.
I was just about to leave when I heard piano music coming from upstairs. It stopped me in my tracks. Six little notes, pure, crystalline, that crushed my heart with an incredible violence. I climbed the stairs like an automaton, guided by the music of the hymn of Vaghen. The music I was so proud to play on the main square of Vaghen. I never played it again after that. In a child's bedroom, I saw a little girl learning to play the piano. She was very studious and didn't seem at all surprised to see me there. She must have thought I was just another guest who had lost their way to the bathroom. We hardly spoke. I just showed her how to play. Hands must glide over the keyboard like swans over water. That's what our teachers at Vaghen Academy used to say. I hurried out of the house without looking back. And a few days later, I left the United States for the only destination that had any meaning to me. Farewell, my dear Lenny.
Dana.
Well, I will never understand human emotions. I thought you would be happy to have the proof at last that Dana Roze is your ancestor.
I'd totally forgotten that strange old lady who helped me play my piece on Mom's birthday. She was my grandma.
So, what are we going to do now?
I don't know, Oscar. I really don't know. I know I should feel happy to come to the end of this adventure. I found freedom. I kept my promise to Katyusha. And discovered a fascinating part of my mother's past, kept secret until now. But it makes no difference to the guilt I feel over my mom's passing, or the void I feel since her death. Maybe if I had met Dana in person, but that's impossible now. The last trace of Dana I have is this letter, and it's over 20 years old. And besides, Dana implies she left for an unknown destination, like a hiding place, to wait for the end of a life that no longer held any meaning for her. She could be anywhere. That's if she's still alive at all. It would be like looking for a needle in a haystack. So, I don't know, Oscar. I really don't know anymore. There's only one thing left to do, Oscar. What everyone has been expecting me to do since I jumped on the train with Hans. Just be reasonable and return to New York. There's an end to everything, Oscar, isn't there? This ticket will take me to the international airport of Vaghen, and from there, back to New York. My carriage number. I should find a phone to call Olivia before I take the shuttle. Given all the trouble waiting for me in New York, I'm gonna need all the help I can get. A ticket validator. I'll need some ink before I can stamp it. The deportation trains left Vaghen from this station during the Second World War. How many lives did those brown shadow barbarians destroy? Is there any justice for those who were massacred?
Hello?
Olivia? It's me.
What do you want, Kate? Didn't we say everything last time?
You were right, Olivia. I've been chasing moonbeams ever since my mom died. But I found my grandmother.
Your grandmother? But Kate, she died years ago in New York.
No, I mean my real grandmother. Never mind. It's a long story. I'll explain everything when I get back.
Oh, you mean...
Yes, I'm flying back to New York.
That's wonderful, Kate. I better tell Mr. Canton. He's still on your case, you know. The police will probably be waiting for you at the airport, but don't worry. Dan has connections. I'm sure he'll be able to help. Maybe he can persuade Marston and Lorman to drop the charges.
Okay, thanks. That would be a relief. I gotta go. The airport shuttle's about to leave.
Yes, go ahead. We'll meet you at JFK. I'm proud of you, Kate. You've made the right decision.
Olivia?
Yes?
Listen, I'm truly sorry for everything that's happened since I left New York. It's just that I just had to get away. I needed a change of life, to be free. It was like a calling. And now that I've been following that calling for the past few years, I realize that I'm not the person I thought I was back in New York. I am that strange person who jumps from train to train, a traveler without a destination, just like that old shaman once called me.
What are you talking about? Which shaman?
It doesn't matter now. I guess what really counts is that I have no regrets about being my true self over these past years.
But do you really?
I know, Olivia. I know I've hurt people while going through this journey. My mom, Dan, you. I know that. And I'm so sorry, Olivia, for all the hurt I've caused you personally.
Thank you, Kate. It does me good to hear it. And, well, you know what? I'm starting to like this new Kate.
Listen, I'd better go now, Olivia. I'll call you if I can from the airport once I've got a flight.
Yes, you'd better get going. You take care, Kate.
Okay, you too. Bye now. Talk later. That's my shuttle. Once it's taken me to the airport, I'll just use the ticket for New York that Olivia sent me, and that'll be the end of my voyage. This is the right carriage, but the door's still shut.
Please present your ticket.
So, is this really the end of the journey?
Yes, Oscar. I'm afraid it really is. Olivia sent me a plane ticket for New York. What if... No, forget it.
You look sad, Kate Walker.
That's all they ever talked about. How they were going to live over there after the war, along with Ludwig and his tribe.
I left the United States for the only destination that had any meaning for me. Farewell, my dear Lenny.
The only destination that had any meaning.
Kate Walker? Is everything all...
I know where she is, Oscar. I know where Dana went after she left America.
The train for the airport is about to depart. All passengers,
Come on, Oscar, we gotta go.
take your seat. Anyone not going to the airport is kindly asked to leave the train immediately.
Mr. Ludwig, what are you doing here?
Going home.
What about Demoiselle Lenny?
Lenny's gone. In her sleep. Too much guilt. Too much sorrow.
Oh.
I took her in the mountain with Leon. They're together now. What about you, Kate Walker?
I'm going back home too. In a way.